Hey everybody, welcome to VeggiePlot. Right, this video is going to be slightly different. In this video we're going to be looking at the tomatoes I've grown this year. I'm trying to tip them so that they don't actually all slide off, but yeah. So we've got a variety on here. We've also got some over here on the chopping board. These are pink Barkley Tie Dye, possibly the best ones I've grown this year so far. They are actually quite huge. If I show you how big they are. Quite amazing, this one. Beautiful tomatoes, but we'll talk more about that in a minute, and we're also going to be cutting them open and having a look inside and also taste testing them just to see what they're like. I'm going to be doing that with all the other tomatoes as well, actually. We've got a variety here. So another one of my favorites this year is this one. This is Lucid Gem. Absolutely stunning tomato. We've got a couple of those here, so we're going to have some of those. Next up, we've got some Michael Pollen, which you may or may not have seen before. These are like a green tomato, and I'll explain how you know when they're ripe a little bit later, but they're quite good, tasty tomato. I've got a very interesting one here. It's sort of got a split in it, so it's not so groovy on that side, but better on this side. These are really nice, but I don't actually know what they are. They were given to me as part of a seed giveaway from someone on Instagram, which I'll put the name on the website in a minute. But the actual plants, I think I've put in my IG feed and on YouTube actually, is that they are variegated. The stems are variegated, and the foliage was very variegated when I first, when they first came up, but since then they've sort of gone greener, but the tomatoes are delicious. The next ones are these are purple heartthrob, and these again are very tasty. I'll tell you where I got the seeds from in a bit, but yeah, these are purple heartthrob. You wouldn't believe, if you're not used to growing your own tomatoes, would you, that these are tomatoes? Because I think, most of us, until we actually get into growing, or we're chefs or something like that, and we get into looking into different produce, we don't actually know, about all these different tomatoes, and there are thousands of them, literally. Anyway, back to what we've got. These lovely little cherry tomatoes, these are called cherry brandy wine, and they're this sort of lovely cerise pink, which I guess why it's cherry, I suppose. Lovely cerise pink tomatoes, and they grow in huge trusses on the vine, lots and lots of them. And we've had lots this year, so we're going to do another taste test on that one. And then we've got here, these are Brad's Atomic Grape. Now, these are really popular this year. I think, I'm not sure why. I know that Tony on YouTube, Tony Smith, he grows them, and I think that's where I got my, I wanted to grow them from Tony. So yeah, these are really good. We'll cut them open and have a look. And then last but not least, although I do have two types like this, these are Honeycomb, and they're an F1 cherry tomato, and they are so sweet. They are absolutely delicious. But yeah, well worth growing, and I'll show you some more pictures of these growing in the polytunnel in a moment, but we'll cut them out and do a taste test. Oh, not last but not least, we're working our way down in size to the tiniest ones I've grown this year. I don't know if it'll focus. There you go. These are Mexican midget, and I will give you my opinion on them when we come to taste them. But I've got some pictures of them growing in the greenhouse, and I'll show you those when we get around to them. Anyway, let me put those over there. So anyway, welcome to the studio. This is where I work when I'm not on the allotment in the polytunnel or in the garden, and this is where I do sort of my videos and stuff. So let's start, shall we? Let's have a look at these beautiful pink Barkley Tie Dye. Now, I got these seeds from a company called, I think it was Tomato Revolution. It wasn't this year. These are some of their seeds that I bought this year from them. They produce a whole range of seeds. Let me see if I can find their website. Actually, I think I've got it on here somewhere. If we quickly go over here, we go up to Tomato Revolution. Yeah, here's their site. So this is their website, and we have a homepage. It's kind of quirky. It's very revolutionary. But you can go to the seed shop, and then you can go on to, you know, all their different types of tomatoes that they've got here. Bicoloured and striped, maybe. Adelaide Festival. There's all sorts. Well worth checking out, having a look if you're looking for some tomatoes and you're actually in the UK. So that's Tomato Revolution seeds. It's got, as I say, a lovely selection. Oh, what's that? Oh, Metallica. They all look quite similar to... pink Barkley Tie Dye. Tie Dye, there we go. As you can see, theirs are quite green, but mine are slightly more ripe. So they've gone slightly pinker. Let me hold that up to the screen again. So they're not as... They're green on the base. I think I mentioned before that you want to pick them before they get too red. If I quickly flick back there, you'll see that this one here is less green on the base. Let me come back here. And as a result, this one actually is very ripe and it gets quite soft and they'll turn quite quick. So it's worth picking these while they are still in this sort of green on the base, but slightly softer on the top. I think they're nicer when they're like this. Anyway, put those back down there. So yeah, these are really nice. So should we cut one open? Should we do a taste test? We'll try it, shall we? Right, let's go for it. This is all new to me, all this kind of flipping between screens and things. So bear with me when I'm looking down and stuff. And also, I don't know, let me know. Prefer it with a hat on or au natural and hat off? Right, let's go back to here. Right, I'm not going to cut the biggest one just yet. I think what I'll do is I'll cut this slightly smaller one. And what I like to do is, because I quite like eating these as sandwiches. So what I'll do is I'll cut them through the middle like this, and then you've got a big slicer, as it were, a big slice which you can put on a sandwich. So anyway, if we cut through the middle, they're a lovely, it's a sort of a firmness to this flesh. They really are good. So if we open it up, there you go, you can see there's an awful lot of sort of tomato flesh in there. It's really, really nice. It's quite juicy. Let me come back here, you might get a better picture. Yeah, it's a bit shiny with the lights, isn't it? But yeah, a really good looking tomato. So let's cut a slice through here. And it's looking good, you can see that. I like the shapes, I like the way you have all these indentations. It's not like a supermarket tomato, you know, it's just red and round. You get this complete different shapes. Every single tomato is different. So if we just cut it through, you can see the seeds here. But let's do a little taste test. Here we go. That's it. They're really nice. There's sort of a fruitiness to them, but a slight acidity. And yeah, really tasty. There's a lot of flavour in them. So let's have another look at one of these bits. You can see the seeds. And the good thing about this type of tomato, if I bring it back here, is that you can save the seeds, because these are heritage or heirloom tomatoes, sort of open pollinated, which means that, apologies if you know this, but if you don't, you can save the seeds for these. So you basically would just get a spoon or something and you would fork them out or spoon them out, put them into a little bowl of water for about 3 to 5 days, and then they'll start to go mouldy on top, which isn't all that pleasant. But what that does is it helps break down the sort of surrounding to the seeds, and what that breaks it down, so after 5 days you can wash that off, and then you can put them on a paper plate or paper towel, and you can save them and grow them next year. And you know that they will come true, providing something crazy hasn't happened. But yeah, they will come true next year. So really like these. I planted them at the beginning of the year indoors. They were planted or sown into little seed trays and cells indoors, put onto the sort of a small radiator that we've got. They germinated, and then they're put into a sunny south-facing windowsill, and then they were planted and grown on in the greenhouse. Now I do have a picture here. Actually, not the greenhouse. Previously I've grown them in the greenhouse. Anyway, let's have a look. So this is the polytunnel where they are, and if I just click play again, you can see we've got various tomatoes all growing just in the ground here, and the pink Barkley tie dye are these just in the foreground, these three in the foreground you can see here, and this is the view sort of early on in the year. So we've got tomatoes down the left and tomatoes down the right, and various other bits and things which needed to go out at the time. So yeah, that's pink Barkley tie dye. So that's how I grew them and where I grew them. You can grow them outside if you've got lovely weather, but like last year we had terrible blight, didn't we, here in the UK, and practically everybody's tomatoes were wiped out. It was sad, but if you grew them in the polytunnel or greenhouse, I think they probably stood more chance of surviving. So I grow all mine in the polytunnel now, and I don't bother growing outside because they always get wiped out. Okay, so a big question, would I grow them again? Yes, I would, most definitely. I grew these last year, and I would definitely grow them again. Let's switch back over actually to my website, and let's just go there. Oh, not this one. We'll look at this site in a minute. I did do in diary, I did a sort of a blog post on the tomato seeds that I was growing this year, and some that I decided not to grow from last year. So these are the ones I didn't grow again this year, but these are all the ones that I did grow. Pink Barkley tie dye is one of them, and I will definitely be growing them again next year when it comes round to it. Okay, right, that's pink Barkley tie dye. I'll just clear the decks and then we'll get stuck into the next one, which I think will probably be this lovely lucid gem. It's absolutely stunning. Okay, let me clear the chopping board and I'll be back to you in a second. Actually, before I do that, I wanted to show you this video clip. This was something that I shot in the polytunnel earlier this week, and this is the pink Barkley dyes growing on a vine in the polytunnel. So this is truss. This is a really heavy truss, and you can see the string at the top. I had to tie it up because it was pulling off the main vine. But yeah, we've got some beautiful pink Barkley tie dye in there. Absolutely stunning. Anyway, okay, right, that's that. Let's get on with the lucid gem. I'll get everything ready. I'll be back to you in a second. I really like these. I love the colouring on them. Absolutely stunning. When they're hanging, you know, they have all this anthocyanin. It's got this dark colour. It's the same sort of, I think, chemical or something, is it? As you find in blueberries and other blue fruits, but it's, yeah, it's quite stunning to watch them ripen and grow. And anyway, they turn around this sort of orange colour after sort of being yellow. It's yeah, I've got a little video actually. Let me just show you that. So this is where I got the seeds. This is from Tomato Revolution. But yeah, this is in the polytunnel, and this is how they are at the moment when I film this. So this one is just turning, so they go from green to this sort of yellow, and then yellow to the orange, and this is one that's quite unripe, not ready at all yet, but that's green. You see that purple shoulders on it, quite extraordinary. And this one's a bit further on, as you can see from the yellow. It's going slightly more orange now. But yeah, I don't have many left in the polytunnel. They're mainly all all sort of over. Right, so anyway, yeah, let's do a taste test, shall we? So we put that on there. Let's switch you over. Right, again, I'll cut it through the middle. I always think cutting it through the middle gives you the best idea of what the actual tomato looks like. But look at that. Look at those absolutely stunning colours. I love the way you get all this lovely red in the middle and these sort of fingers or frond-like bits going out into the orange and then changing to these darker colours around the edge. And again, very few seeds. You know, if this was if this were a red tomato in the supermarket, you'd cut it in half and you'd just be mainly seeds, wouldn't you? But this is absolutely stunning, beautiful to look at. I suppose, yeah. Let's do a taste test first. Let's do that. Let's do a slice. Take a slice off there, a little wedge. You can see. I'll bring you back over here, so I think the picture's better. You can just see the beautiful colouring on it. Absolutely stunning. Anyway, we'll taste it. It looks like it should be sort of fruity and sweet and so on and so forth, isn't it? But let's try it. Really good. I'm not really good at explaining all the different flavours, but I sort of prefer this. It's sort of mellower, softer to the pink Barkley Tie Dye. But it's sort of fruity and firm. It's really nice. If you get some sourdough bread, butter it, rub some garlic on it, salt and pepper, basil leaf, bit of mayonnaise, and a slab of this tomato, and you eat it, it's just absolutely delicious. But yeah, I really, really like these. As for would I grow them again, it's a resounding yes. I would grow these if I can every year now. And again, they are open pollinated, heritage heirloom tomatoes, so you can save seed and you can grow your own again next year, which I really like that way of growing things. So you sow the seed, grow the plant, you harvest the fruit, you save the seed, you grow the seed. It's like a circle, isn't it? It's just a fantastic way of doing things. So yeah, absolutely would grow these again. You know, brilliant, really, really tasty. The only downside I've found to them, okay, some websites, and I think describe as how well they stay on the vine, you know, these ripen quite quickly and they don't stay wonderful on the vine for a very long time. So a bit like pink Barkley Tie Dye, as soon as they start to go ripe, I would take them and put them indoors and ripen them indoors, because I think that's the best way to do it. Yeah, because what happens is they can get splits on them. Doesn't really show on this. On this one maybe. They split and then they'll go very soft and mouldy around the split. So as long as you pick them earlier, I mean, I've obviously saved all these up for this video. If you pick them earlier, then they're absolutely fine and perfect. So yeah, I would definitely recommend growing Lucid Gem again. Absolutely. I thought actually quickly we'll have a quick look at these websites again. And we will. So I thought quickly we'd have a quick look at these websites again. We just flip over and I'll see, yeah, Wild Boar Farms. Now, Wild Boar Farms is a farm in America which grows tomatoes, and I imagine that most of you absolutely know this already. But there's a chap there who's, I think I described him the other day as the godfather of tomatoes, and this is Bradley Gates. And Bradley is, along with the team there, you know, grown and created a huge number of tomatoes, of which I believe pink Barkley Tie Dye and Lucid Gem are some of his. So if we quickly look at the seeds, I've sorted these by popularity, and you can see that the ones which have sold the most, and Brad's Atomic Grape, look, that's right at the top. That's one we'll be tasting in a minute. Black Beauty I have grown, but I don't have one here to show you. Now, they're not quite ripe when I needed to film this. I haven't grown any of these, but here we have Lucid Gem, Pink Barkley Tie Dye. Yeah, and there's a huge range you just wouldn't believe, and that's so beautiful. Look at some of these tomatoes, absolutely extraordinary. But yeah, I recommend, you know, buying your tomatoes, especially if you're in the States and so on, popping over to Bradley's website, Wild Boar Farms, and picking up your seeds from there. If you're in the UK, obviously you can try Tomato Revolution seeds. Not sure if they do these. Let's have a look, shall we? Orange and yellow. Alice's Dream, Blue Sun, Gandalf, Lithium Sunset. They're bound to be in here somewhere. There's a huge range. And if not, one other place you can go to is Niall's Etsy shop. He's another grower I found on Instagram. And basically he has a huge range of heirloom seeds which you can get. The Lucid Gem here, you see, Crushed Heart, Rebel Starfighter. They all look extraordinary, don't they? Michael Pollan. I think that's where I got mine from him this year. But yeah, beautiful. Anyway, right, let's get back to whatever we're going to do next. Right, so we've had that one. Really recommend that. Absolutely beautiful tomato. Lucid Gem. Right, let's put that out of the way. Next one. Right, shall we go for this purple heartthrob? Now, this, I'll put it on its side so you can see sort of the heart shape to it. And if I flip you over here, this is the largest one I've grown so far. Look at it. It's absolutely enormous. But look at those colours. Look at them. Aren't they fantastic? Beautiful reds and greens, and this sort of like the zipper. I don't know quite how or why that happens. Someone would know, but yeah, absolutely stunning. But I'm going to save that for home. Big sandwich later. Anyway, let's try this one. Let's see what this is like. Oh, wrong button. So here we go. I cut it through the middle as before. Very firm. This feels, but look at the colours on this. Look at that. They're just absolutely. Let me turn it around. I can prop it up. Look how dark it is. Look at that. You just wouldn't believe that is a tomato, would you, if you hadn't really been growing tomatoes before? Just look at it. It's so rich in colour. Right, let's do a little taste test. So I could ramble on about these for ages, and obviously that could get a tad boring. But right, let's do this one. So yeah, the colour on it looks almost meaty, doesn't it? Really, really tasty. Yeah, it's amazing. It's like the others. It's nothing like a shop-bought tomato. And some of the others I've got here, like the little Honeycomb, they really are sweet. And although these bigger ones have sort of a sweetness to it, they're not as sweet as those. They have this sort of meatiness to it. It's sort of, obviously doesn't taste like meat, but it has this sort of solidity. But just imagine eating that. That's the colours on that compared to these. Well, very similar to Pink Barkley Tie-Dye, but even darker perhaps. But yeah, well worth growing. I recommend that wholeheartedly. Right, let's put that over there. Where are we? Right, here we are. Okay, next one up. Right, let's go for a green tomato. Because I know not many people probably fancy a green tomato. It basically seems wrong, doesn't it? It doesn't sort of seem something like you'd eat, but these are quite sweet. And the trick with them is, I don't know if this one's any different. The trick with them is to pick them when they go slightly soft and they're going yellow basically. There's sort of a yellowness on the end. It's not really picking up how yellow this is. But yeah, these are really good. If you chop them up fine into and put them into sort of a Greek yogurt with a bit of lime or chives or something like that, they're really, really quite nice. So let's just pop you over here and we'll try this one. cut it through the middle. Yeah, isn't that stunning? Look at those colours. So fresh looking. But you see, compared to the others, there's sort of like a bigger seed cavity for the size. But yeah, looks amazing, doesn't it? I'll just bring it back here and you can see it close up. Yeah, stunning. Right, let's have a piece of this, shall we? Yeah. Good. There's sweetness to it. It's hard to explain. I can't explain it. You should try it. It's worth growing. Would I grow them again? I think that's, I'm not sure. I might do. I might grow one plant next year. It is nice. And it would definitely be a looker on the table or in a salad or something. Yeah, I will grow it again, but I perhaps won't grow so many. I think this year I grew 3 plants. Next year I'll probably just grow 1 because I don't know if I can show you. If I've got them here, if you bear with me a second. We're looking for Michael Pollan. Here we go. Right, let me flip you over to this. So you can see that they're a fair size. If I flick you through, you'll see how many are growing on these trusses. There are a huge number of them when it films and pans down. You'll see against this is just in a small 6x4 greenhouse. You'll just see at the end the trusses has huge numbers on, and there are lots of these all over these plants. Absolutely everywhere. So yeah, really good producers. So next year I think I'll probably just grow 1 of these. Right, next thing, let's see, let's just move that out of the way and we'll put that one in there so you can see. Right, next one, let's see, what have we got? Let's go for the mystery tomato, shall we? Now this is the variegated tomato. I don't know if I can just find where this is. No, I don't think I've got any video of it. But yeah, if I can find some after I've recorded this video, I will put an overlay on this so you can see what the actual foliage and things looks like. But yeah, right. Let's try this one, shall we? Enough talking, let's get on and eat it. Right, let's cut this one in half. More of a traditional tomato shape. But look at that. Again, very decent sized tomato. And if I can find the name, I will. I'll put it on the screen. But look at all this amount of flesh you get in the middle. Absolutely, you know, solid. Lots of little seed cavities. Again, you can save the seed from this. You can save seed from all of these. But let's give it a taste. Which one have we got? We'll avoid that bit. Right, here we go. Is that going to show that? I think so. Quite juicy. But anyway, let's try it. Soft, smooth, silky. More of a traditional sort of tomato taste, but has a slight acidity and a slight sweetness. Really very tasty. Completely different to anything you get in the shop. You know when you go to a pub or a restaurant, you get a side salad with a couple of bits of tomato and they're tasteless. This is not that. This is full of flavour. It makes your mouth water. All of these do, actually. Well worth growing. Okay, as I don't know what it is, I can't really say much more about it. Will I be growing it again? Yes, I will. Apart from the foliage, which is very attractive, the actual fruit is delicious too. So, yeah, I think this is a definite keeper. So again, we'll put that to one side. Put this here. Right, next one. What shall we try? Let's try a little cherry. I found something really sweet now. So yeah, these are the Honeycomb. These are an F1, and I think I've got some pictures here somewhere. Yeah, let's just switch over to here. You can see them growing in the polytunnel. They grow in these sort of trusses, and they just pop off the truss really easy on the joint, which is quite good, which means they don't split so easily as, say, like a sungold does. But you can see that one in the middle has split. When they get really ripe, they do start splitting. But yeah, it's like a conventional sort of leaf. They're indeterminate. They'll grow up really tall. They ripen quite early in the season, and you can just keep on growing them until the frost get them if you want to. But we've had absolutely masses of them. Anyway, we'll cut this one open and we'll have a look and see what it's like. Right, I've got two here, so got this one. Cut this one open. And you can see it's very, very attractive looking orange tomato. Absolutely, it's so pretty, and the colours, you know, are just stunning. Anyway, I love these tomatoes. I really do. Absolutely, they're so sweet, soft, slight tang, but like honey. It's just, you've got to let them ripen, obviously, but they are delicious. And I will, you know, when I go into the polytunnel, I'm snacking on these all the time. Back to the board, put that bit over there. So, honeycomb. I grew, how many did I grow? Last year. No, this year. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. About 9. So we've had lots and lots of them. But they really are, they're so popular in the house. Family all eat them. They're just really, really popular. They're just well worth growing. So honeycomb, I think sun gold are much the same. Out of the two, I grew both this year to see which one I prefer. And I think I do prefer the honeycomb. But as I say, it is an F1. I think if I can find seed packet. Yeah, I got my seeds from this company in the UK called Just Seed. And yeah, if we flip over to the internet, this is their website, and you can see these are their sun gold, but they do a huge range of tomatoes, but there's a big mix, lots and lots of normal reds. Roma's obviously good for sauces. I didn't grow them this year, I might do next year, but yeah, if you quickly click through, then yeah, these are the sun gold. So that's where I got mine this year, but I dare say, you know, you can pick these up more or less from anywhere, to be honest. Okay, right. So honeycomb, definite grower. I will grow every year. You can't save seed from these. Well, you can. And it's funny, you know, F1 seeds, as you'll probably know, are like two seeds, two tomatoes crossed, and the resultant one is the F1 that you get. And so if you then grow those seeds, they don't always grow true, and quite often you'll get one parent which was perhaps grown for its lovely orange colour, or you'll get the other parent which was grown perhaps for its flavour, but it's tiny. Do you know what I mean? So they crossed a really tiny flavoursome one with a lovely orange one, and they got this perfect one in the middle. So if you sow the seeds for these, you are unlikely to get the same again. But having said that, I've been saving F1 seed for watermelons, beans, sweet corn, and the resulting crops I've been getting every year are fine. So it's up to you if you ever want to try it. I think it's always worth doing for a little test. Yeah. Anyway, on to the next one. What should we do next? We've got this lovely cherry brandy wine. Should we do that one? So again, these are a little cherry. They're not as round as, say, honeycombs. They're not a traditional cherry, but they are this sort of slightly squattish shape. And I think that I got these from, where did I get these from? Yeah, I got these from Tomato Revolution. These were, yeah, from them. Mine haven't grown quite as big as that, I don't think. not quite as big as that. But yeah, so mine, unless I've got a bigger hand than that photo person. Right, so let's try these, shall we? So let's just clear that plate of them. Right, cut it in half. So this obviously looks more like a traditional cherry tomato, but look at the colour on it. It's sort of almost like a luminescent sort of pink. It's absolutely extraordinary. So if we just flip through here, try this. Lovely seeds, but right, let's try it. Full of flavour, sort of a fresh sort of grassiness to it, but full of tomato flavour, acidity definitely. Not really sweet, but lots of tomato flavour. So if you were to chop this up and put this onto a plate, you know, in a side salad, I think people will go, oh, that's nice, that's different, that's got some flavour. So I can definitely recommend cherry brandy wine. That's another good one. Will I grow it next year? I probably will, but a bit like the green one here, the Michael Pollan, I probably won't grow so many. I'll probably only grow perhaps one plant, because there literally are hundreds and hundreds on the vine. Let me just show you, let me just flick you over to this. This will show you what it's growing like in the polytunnel at the moment. So we've got all these lovely trusses. The one thing about these is that they don't pop off the truss very easy. You can see there I'm almost ripping the truss, but you can't pop them off the truss. You do need a pair of scissors or something to remove them. They're absolutely tough as nails. They want to hang on for dear life, it seems. So yeah, but there are lots and lots. The leaf is slightly different. You see that these have suffered a bit and need a feed, but it's coming to the end of the season, so I'm not too worried about them. But they're like a potato leaf. Quite different habit to normal tomatoes, but as you can see, we've got absolutely loads of them. Right, so that is the cherry brandy wine. Finally, I think we're coming to the last one, which if you're still here, thank you very much for watching to the end. It's quite a long video, isn't it? I'm not quite sure the time at the moment, but anyway, the next one and final one is this one, and this is the Brad's Atomic Grape. Now, these, as I say, are really popular. You can pick them up online. Let's quickly flick over to here and look at, I don't know if Niall does them. Not at the moment. But Wild Boar Farms, let's go to their shop. Tomato seeds. And go to sort by popularity. There we go, Brad's Atomic Grape. So it's another one of Bradley Gates's tomatoes. But look at the colours. So these greens up the top here, it's picking up my mouse, I think it is. These are ripe, but these are underripe. See when they're sort of purple? And I don't know if I've got some pictures. Yeah, I've got some pictures on mine. Let's flick over to my video. These are unripe, you can see, but they're so big, they're huge, these cherries. Not cherries, they're sort of plum-shaped tomatoes. Yeah, and the purple, and they're just not ripe at the moment when they've got this sort of purple colouring. You can tell they sort of go ripe when they start developing this sort of orangey red tinges to them, and they're sort of fresh. But what I've done the last couple of days is trimmed a lot of the leaves off to let the sun get to them. You can see this one's quite ripe. I don't know if I harvest that one. Did I pick that one? Yeah, yes I did. So you can see, yeah, that's quite ripe. But look at those colours. It's sort of the bronzes and golds on them. Absolutely stunning. Anyway, right, let's get back and let's try this one, shall we? As I said, I found these from Tony Smith on YouTube. He grows them. And that was my influence for trying them. And as he says, you've got to let them get ripe. If you pick them when they're unripe, i.e. when they're like this, they're sort of purple and green, then they're not going to be very nice. They need to soften up, and then they need to go all these sort of mixture of colours. Right, let's leave that there. This one you can see the colours. I'll flip over. It was better on this camera. Doesn't really pick it up, but there are some extraordinary colours on there. Right, let's try a bit of this. More seeds in this one, isn't it? It's more of a conventional looking tomato. You can see the colours there just on the skin. I don't know if it picks it up. Let's try over here. You can see the colours sort of almost bleeding through into the fruit. Right, let's try it. Oh, so much flavour. So there's a definite sweetness to it. Not a conventional tomato taste, but I think that's one of the better ones I've had so far. I just have to try another bit. That's extraordinary. It's not perfumed, but it has such a great flavour to it. Really, really, really good. Again, with these, you can save the seeds, and they will grow true next year, so I can recommend them. Right, I think, oh no, nearly forgot, because they're so small. I nearly forgot the Mexican midget. Now look at that. It's such a tiny baby tomato, isn't it? It's such a tiddler. When you compare it, oops, wrong button. When you compare it to the others, look at that. And this is the biggest I can grow them. I don't know if they're supposed to grow any larger, but basically this is as big as they get. Now, I do have some videos somewhere. I'll see if I can find it for you. So this is them in the greenhouse. They grow like mad. There's so much foliage. It was sort of swamping the greenhouse. I had to cut it right back. But all you get for all this foliage is these tiny tomatoes. Now, either I'm doing something wrong or this is just how they are. But they really, really are widgy. So you have to ask yourself, would I grow them again? And the answer is no. I mean, let's cut one open. If you can cut one open, let's cut this little one open, just for a laugh. We'll see what it's like inside. So it's this tiny, widgy tomato. I'll bring you back in here. It's so tiny. It's cute, isn't it? Practically the seeds are anyway. It's cute. I'll give it that. And the surprise is that they are full of flavour. Really quite tasty. It's like a little seed, almost like a little flavour bomb. Although that wasn't the best one I've ever had. Let me see. Yeah, I don't know. Let's put those two together. I'll just try this one. Yeah, very tomatoey. But I don't know if I can justify, swamping the greenhouse for such small tomatoes. So I'm afraid for me, these, excuse me, will be out. And I will probably never be growing them again. They're just not worth it. So if I were to rate these, perhaps, in order of most amazing flavour, I think I would probably go at the moment with Lucid Gem. The only one that's missing here actually is Black Beauty. This is the video of the Black Beauties. You see, this one isn't ripe. It's very purple and green at the moment. And this one. So they just weren't ready in time for this video. I think the one there's one here that is, but I don't know if I pick it. See this one? Yeah, just slightly beginning to turn, beginning to go red. But these, I would say, are the best that I've got. And it's just a shame I didn't have them for this video. They really are full of flavour. So I would put Black Beauty first. They would be here if I had one. Then Lucid Gem, I think, definitely. I think, well, they're all nice, all for different reasons. These are so sweet, the Honeycomb. Just absolutely love these. This, I don't know the name, was very tasty. The purple heartthrob's fantastic. And this, Brad's Atomic Grape, this is actually the most flavoursome I've had on all of them so far. So I recommend all of them, apart from these. So if you are into growing tomatoes, which I think many people are, then I really recommend giving these heirloom and heritage varieties a try. They really are, you know, something special and something worth having a go. They're not difficult to grow. They grow just like any others. Being bigger, they take longer to ripen up, but the smaller ones ripen up, you know, quite quickly in the season. So I hope you found that interesting. It's been nice actually finally taste testing them all together. Really good. Okay, as usual, if you got something from this, please do like, subscribe and hit the bell button for notifications. And I will see you in the next video, which will be back onto the allotment or greenhouse or the polytunnel. Okay, bye for now.